Interesting one. Renault Clio, 1.2 56 plate. Battery would drain down overnight. Had a few people look at it. Couldn't find out where it was coming from. Apparently they'd done all the usual checks. So had a little look at it today. It's drawing just under an amp continuously, which is no good. It's going to kill the battery overnight. Battery is fully charged, but it was killing the battery, like I say, overnight. Done a few checks. It's the fuse box. Under the bonnet. There's a cover that goes there. Obviously I had my multimeter in series with this off. It was drawing just under an amp. So I've done a few checks for voltage drop across these fuses. Well, the ones that I can do anyway, because these ones are sealed. So there's not a lot you can do with them unless you prise the top off, and I don't really want to do that. But this one down here is for the power steering pump. Well, it's not a pump, it's a motor. That's got its own wire. Goes up to the positive terminal of the battery. Now, I've done a volt drop across that, and it was showing voltage with ignition off. Everything was locked, and it was drawing. So, pulled the fuse out, bang, down to 5 milliamps, or 50 milliamps, which is bang on for this car in sleep mode. So anyway, I'm thinking, right, these have got an ECU that's problematic, and they've got an electric motor on the steering column, which is down here. So went round, started fiddling around under here, and there's the motor up in there. Now, to do this job, you've got to take the top of the dash off to get to the motor to pull it out. Now, hold on a minute. The ECU is behind here. If you flip this out, in there, that's the ECU. There. Right. So I'm looking around in there. I've pulled the main wires out to see what's going on, whether the voltage, whether the amps drop. No, they don't drop. The amps don't drop. Even with both outlet from the ECU to the motor and the inlet from the battery, both disconnected from the ECU, yeah, and it's still got a drain. So I'm fiddling around and I'm thinking, hold on a minute, what's that? This little baby. See that fuse holder there? Right. It's a tracker. It's one of them things insurance companies put on to see whether you're doing 31 miles an hour in a 30-mile-an-hour zone, and they screw you. But in his wisdom, the guy has connected it to the aft side of the ECU. So it's gaining power it's drawing power through the ECU and the ignition's off. So, took the fuse out, bang, drain's gone. So, if you guys have got any issues with Renault Clios, the early ones, the 1.2s that youngsters drive because of insurance purposes, check for a tracker if you've got a drain. You know, no one told me it had a tracker. No one told me the insurance company had fitted something. No one found it. So it could have been in there for years. But it's drawing just under an amp, which is a heck of a lot. So obviously there's a fault with it. So if you can see, that wasn't as prominent as there. It was tucked right up under the dash, and it had some material tape wrapped around it. It just looked like part of the loom, but I knew it was a fuse holder. I thought that ain't right. So there you go. Disconnected that. Drain's gone. Customer's happy because it was looking like she was going to have to scrap the car because it was going to cost too much to have a ECU and a motor put in. Happy days. Catch you later.